Money in the Bank pay-per-view is going to be taking place from the XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut this upcoming weekend. So let's go over the matches that we have as of this point. There is one kickoff match that is slated at this time. It is for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team titles. It's going to be Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan defending those titles against the Usos in a rematch from SmackDown here within 2 weeks ago, or a week or so ago, I should say. Do I think they're going to take... I just don't see any reason to take the titles off Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan this quick. I don't think their reign's going to be that long anyways, but I just don't see the Usos winning it back here. And of course, if they win, that means they're back on SmackDown. I'm sure Xavier Woods would love to have the Usos back so they can be on their on his up, down, down channel and all that. So I just don't see... the Usos winning the titles. They may win by disqualification, but I don't see them winning the titles. So I'll take Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan to retain here. And then on the main show, we'll go with the WWE Cruiserweight title match here first. We have Tony Nese defending the Cruiserweight title against Daivari. I think this should be a decent match for what it was. I know I've seen Tony Nese wrestle, so I know he's pretty good. I don't see any reason to take the title off of him yet. He just got the title at WrestleMania. No reason to take it off this soon. I expect Tony Nese to retain in a good match against Daivari. We have, in a steel cage match, we have Shane McMahon going up against The Miz. Shane has been getting the upper hand on The Miz pretty much throughout this whole rivalry. At some point, you got to think The Miz is going to get some payback, and I'm going to actually take The Miz to beat Shane McMahon here in a good match. Obviously, with the steel cage, we'll have all that. We'll have no disqualifications, so maybe some weapons, some chair use here perhaps. I'm going to take The Miz. I think The Miz gets it done and gets some retribution finally and beats Shane McMahon. Next up, we have a grudge match. We have Roman Reigns taking on Elias. No reason for Elias to be winning here. It would be a shock if he does. Obviously, you got to go with the babyface here. Take Roman Reigns in a decent match, I think, to beat Elias. And then for the WWE US title, we have Samoa Joe putting that title up on the line against Rey Mysterio Jr. A rematch from WrestleMania where Samoa won in a squash. Looks like Rey Mysterio Jr. is going to be healthy this time. I think... they'll have a decent match. They did have a match against each other not too terribly long ago, which Rey Mysterio won in a non-title match. I just don't see Samoa Joe losing the title. Rey may win by disqualification or something, but I still see Samoa Joe retaining the title when it's all said and done. And actually, I'm going to take Samoa Joe to win outright, so that's my prediction. And in the first of the Becky Lynch title defenses for the WWE Raw Women's title, it's going to be Becky Lynch putting the Raw title on the line against Lacey Evans. Now, this is going to be interesting, of course, with the news that came out about Becky Lynch this week. And I use news in quotes, by the way, which one I'm going to talk about here coming up shortly. I've been saying all along that I think Lacey Evans is going to win the title here. Of course, with the news that came out, obviously that strategy might change now. But of course, they have this wild card rule to begin with. So, you know what? I'm going to stay with my prediction all along. I'm probably going to be a fool for going with this. But you know what? I've said it all along. I'm going to stay with it. I think Lacey Evans is winning the Raw Women's title from Becky Lynch. I'm probably going to be wrong, and Becky's going to probably retain. But I'm picking Lacey Evans to win the title. We know how Vince feels about blondes. Obviously, if you watched Raw this week, we saw the angle they did with Charlotte and Lacey in the ring powerbombing Becky through the tables, so that tells you all you need to know. I think Lacey Evans is winning the title here. Call me crazy for thinking it, but I think she gets it done. And in the second of Becky Lynch's title defenses, which they're going to be spread out throughout the show, the WWE SmackDown Women's title match will have her defending that title against her best friend Charlotte Flair. Even though they can't say it on camera, we know in real life they are best friends. I think a lot of people seem to think that Charlotte's going to win the title back here from Becky, and this will be reign number 9 for Charlotte as being a women's champion. I'm picking Becky Lynch to retain this title. I don't see her losing both titles, and I don't see her retaining both titles. I have her losing the Raw Women's title. I have her successfully defeating Charlotte and retaining the SmackDown Women's title. I think they'll have a great match, as they always do, but hopefully this will end the feud once and for all. But again, a lot of people seem to think Charlotte's getting the title here. I think Becky retains it somehow, so give me Becky Lynch to retain the SmackDown Women's title. In the men's, or let's do the women's Money in the Bank first. In the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, we have Naomi and Alexa Bliss. We have Natalya Neidhart, Dana Brooke, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Carmella, and Ember Moon. In this match, of course, the winner gets a future guaranteed shot at one of the titles. Of course, assuming that Becky holds on to both of them, or she loses one or the other, we'll have to wait and see. For the women's one here, let's just break it down. I don't see Ember Moon winning. Carmella's won it already, so she doesn't need to win it. Dana Brooks basically was the replacement for Sasha Banks, if you believe the rumors. So I just don't see Dana Brooke winning. Natalya is just a warm body here. I don't see her winning. Alexa Bliss, well, they could go with Alexa Bliss here. I just don't see it, and Naomi's not going to do it. To me, it's down to Bayley and Mandy Rose. I want to see Bayley win it. It would be nice to see Bayley win it, but I'm going to pick Mandy Rose. We know how, like I said before, we know how Vince feels about his blondes, and we know Mandy Rose is a blonde. And I think Mandy Rose, is all set up for Mandy Rose to win here, and I think she gets it done and when it's all said and done, and she wins the women's Money in the Bank ladder match and gets that future contract for a title opportunity. Of course, Mandy Rose is part of Fire and Desire with Sonya Deville. They're on SmackDown, so obviously she would challenge the SmackDown Women's title holder, which I believe is going to be Becky Lynch in the future. So we have that. So give me Mandy Rose to win Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. As for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, we have Sami Zayn, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, Mustafa Ali, Randy Orton, Andre Cien and Finn Balor. Let's break this down real quick. Finn Balor is the Intercontinental Champion, so I don't see him winning. Sami Zayn, I just don't see any reason. He replaced Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman wasn't going to win it anyways. Sami Zayn, I don't see any reason for him to win. Ricochet, to me, he's still new. Could they give him the big rub here real quick and have him win? They could, but I just don't see it. Baron Corbin, there's no reason why he should be winning. Mustafa Ali the same way. To me, it comes down to Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, and Andre Cien. Randy Orton, they could go with Randy Orton. That would be the boring, predictable routes. I just don't see it happening. So it's down to Drew McIntyre and Andre Cien. Now, Andre Cien did win the Fatal 4-Way match on SmackDown this week. So to me, I think that pretty much assures that he's not winning. And so my pick is Drew McIntyre to win. I think this is going to be his big push finally to get that opportunity for the title. Of course, Drew McIntyre is on Raw, I believe. Yeah, he's on Raw, so he would face, which would be Seth Rollins, which we'll talk about that title match here shortly. A lot of people seem to think if Andre Cien wins this match, it's going to be because of Charlotte Flair's pull backstage. And of course, we all know that Charlotte Flair and Andre Cien are a couple, so the feeling would be if he were to win this match, it would be because of Charlotte Flair and not because of himself. So give me Drew McIntyre to win the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. And I know it sucks to say that about Andre Cien because I think he's a talented performer, but it's, let's be honest, he's with Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte Flair apparently has his pull backstage apparently. So I still like Drew McIntyre to win. For the WWE title, we have Kofi Kingston defending the title against Kevin Owens. there seems to be a consensus that Kevin Owens is going to win the title here. I think they're going to have a great match. The chemistry, I think, is going to be good between the two. Could they do the title here with Kevin Owens? They could. It wouldn't shock me, it wouldn't surprise me. I just don't see them putting the title on Kevin Owens right now. I think Kofi Kingston, you got to give him time to at least be the champion for more than a month. Give me Kofi Kingston to successfully defend the title. I'm sure there could be outside shenanigans during this match. Maybe it ends in a disqualification or something. Hopefully we get a clean finish, and I'm going to take Kofi Kingston to retain. And then finally, for the WWE Universal title, we have Seth Rollins putting the title up on the line against AJ Styles. This should be a great match. Two great workers in the ring here. I've been waffling back and forth on this. As much as I would love to see AJ Styles, who's been kind of showing heel tendencies here as of late, as much as I would love to see AJ Styles win it, you just can't. They're not going to take the title off Seth Rollins this soon. So I think Seth Rollins retains, and there could be outside shenanigans in this match, and I think Seth Rollins retains the title here. Now, as far as any cash-ins, do I see any cash-ins taking place? They could do a cash-in with Mandy Rose. If Mandy Rose wins, she could cash in on Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Women's title, and that's one way they could have her lose that title, so Becky could actually leave without any titles. So I could see that possibly happen if she wins. Now, as far as the men's, I see Drew McIntyre. Could they do that as well? They could. I don't see a men's cash-in on the show. The women's one, I think, is more likely if they were to do it with Mandy Rose winning. I just don't see Drew McIntyre cashing in on the show. So that is the Money in the Bank pay-per-view preview and predictions. So there you go.